Okay, so you're here because you're possibly overweight and have a big stomach. And this is what they would call in medical terminology, abdominal obesity. Or perhaps you are really skinny, but you're always wearing very loose fitting clothes because you have this gut that you just always want to hide. Or maybe you just don't give a damn about that belly that hangs because you are you and who cares? No one's going to tell you what to do with your body, your mind, and whatever you want to do. Okay, I've got it. Okay, I understand. Well, today I want to go over some very frightening news for you belly hangers out there that I feel is worth watching my video until the end. I've done countless hours of research to try to understand what are the effects of having a large stomach. Because from my nursing practice, I've seen the detrimental effects of a large flabby belly later on in adulthood, which has become a nationwide problem. I mean, just ask yourself, if you're not the one with the problem, then the next time you go out, just scan around and take a look at everybody's stomach. How many stomachs do you see popping out? How many stomachs do you see that are not proportional to the body? So you may be thinking, well, I eat really healthy. Everything in my diet is healthy, and it's just really hard to get rid of my stomach. I don't know what to do. But the question is, do you really eat healthy? Or you may be thinking, oh, but I work out all the time, and it's still so hard to get rid of my stomach. It may be because of your diet. Or you may be thinking, oh, there's nothing wrong with my flabby stomach. I know a lot of people who have it, and there's nothing wrong with them. I feel fine. I feel great. I'm confident. I love the way I look. Okay, so just hold up and let me help you reconsider those thoughts that you're having. So my mission is to get you to care about your health before your friends, your family, or your doctor tells you, like, hey, I think you need to do something about that. That is the large belly that can stand in the way of you having a healthy, energetic, and long life. So in order to do this, I've found a lot of evidence. Evidence with the support of scientists who dedicate countless hours of their own to studying our cells, our biology, in hopes of making us humans healthier and just overall better people. I've thoroughly read the scientific article and translated the complicated scientific terminology to help you understand what a not so flat stomach can do to your health. And if you're still watching this video and you're thinking, I'm not ready to make a change, I don't care, I live my life the way I want to live, I just hope that you're going to reconsider. And the reason why is I want you to make less doctor visits in the future. I don't want you to be hospitalized sooner than you need to be. And I want you to be able to spend time with your friends and your family really late into life with a clear mind and a really strong body. Okay, so here I go. So I found this article written by Deepika Dawana and Sheel Sharma. This article was written in October of 2020. And the title of the article is Abdominal Obesity, Adipokines, and Non-Communicable Diseases. Yeah, the title already seems complicated enough, but don't worry, I'm going to help you break it down and help you understand in layman terms what this all means. So in a simplified summary, what is this? It's basically talking about the dangers of having fat in your stomach, aka abdominal obesity. So let's start off with two definitions. The two that I want you to remember today is visceral fat and adipokines. So what is visceral fat? It is toxic, that's the key word. Toxic fat that lays deep in the layers of your stomach. And it surrounds the internal organs, meaning it's like a cushion. It's like almost suffocating your internal organs. For example, your liver can be suffocated by this fat. And secondly, adipokines, which is a cell made by fat all throughout your body, and it's sent out into the body to help your body normally function. However, when you have too much fat in your stomach, anywhere else in the rest of your body, this is going to be a problem. It will be a problem because it's going to cause lots of different diseases that we will go over in just a bit. Okay, now's the time. So it's going to cause high blood sugar, high blood pressure, malfunctioning of the heart, fat around the liver, kidney failure, and cancer. So this adipokines, due to too much visceral fat, will end up causing all of these diseases I just listed. So the key takeaway is that too much fat in the stomach causes an imbalance of fat cell function and the chemical pathways that it follows. Therefore, it's going to cause multiple organs in your body to be affected. So let's start with how unhealthy weight is measured today. So if you were to go to your doctor's office, how would your doctor determine? Are you overweight? Are you underweight? Are you obese? It is done through one equation, and that equation is the body mass index. So a healthy body mass index is typically between 18 to 25. And the way it's calculated is you would divide your height by your weight. And through this research article, they found that even though a person has a normal BMI between 18 and 25, and if they have abdominal obesity, or they end up looking very skinny, which then again would tell us, oh, they have a normal BMI. because their weight is within range and their height. However, this research article is showing us that a person who has a normal weight and a belly, they are still at risk for a lot of diseases, as mentioned earlier. In other words, just because you look skinny on the outside is not going to mean that you're healthy on the inside. So now that we've thrown away the BMI, this article supports that we need to start looking at the waistline. The waistline is the most important calculation that someone needs to make in order to determine how healthy you are. So let's start with another healthcare related terminology. At one point in your life, if you continue to go on this path of having a large stomach, you may be diagnosed with metabolic syndrome, which is a combination of high blood pressure, high blood sugar, high cholesterol, and lots of fat around the waist. So what is a healthy waistline? Through research, a healthy waistline for men is between 78 to 94 centimeters, and for women, 64 and 80 centimeters. Do you know your waistline? Okay, I'll give you a minute. Why don't you go and grab your ruler? No, not the straight one, because you need a ruler that's gonna wrap around your waist. So now that I've given you time to measure your waistline, or perhaps you're gonna measure it in the future because you don't have that measuring tape. Let's say you are at 90 centimeters. Where do you think you fall? And you're a woman. According to this chart, you fall well above 88 centimeters, which means that you are in the obese category and at high risk for getting those diseases that I mentioned earlier. Okay, so we've gone over why having a flabby belly isn't healthy, what BMI is, and what is a healthy waistline. So the question is, what is fat and what are the different types of fat? Did you know there are different types of fat? So another word I want you to learn is fatty acids. So fatty acids is what we consume in foods that have fat in it, and when it is ingested into our body, they are the main building blocks of our body, which makes fat. So fat is actually considered an organ, and it makes up about 20% of our body. If the amount is unbalanced or disturbed, it can cause major problems in our body. So there are two types of fat, white fat and brown fat. And it seems as though, according to this article, the white fat has the most functions in the body. However, they are both equally important. So what are the functions of white fat? Number one, the white fat has the fatty acids and is stored as fuel so that in the future, if you need energy, the white fat will release it into your body and give you the extra oomph that you need. Number two, the white fat helps your body break down fat and it helps break down sugar in the body. Number three, it helps produce proteins or hormones for the body. For example, there's a protein in the body called leptin, and leptin is an anti-obese hormone. So can you imagine if you don't have enough white fat, what could possibly happen? Or if you have a malfunction of white fat and you don't have enough leptin in the body, what could possibly happen if leptin is an anti-obese protein? That's right. So without it, you're going to feel more hungry. You're going to want to eat more food. So this leptin is really good at regulating how hungry you are. And then brown fat, it's high energy fat, and usually it supports the body by making heat and keeping us really warm on a cold day. So again, the key takeaway is that we need to have a balance between white fat and brown fat. So now let's go over to the really juicy part. This is the part why I wanted you to stay and watch my video. Let's discuss why excess fat in the stomach affects your body. Before we do that, I want to go over two proteins in your body. Well, actually three. Two are really bad and one is really good. So the two that are really bad for you is the very low density protein and the low density protein. In other words, it's called VLDL or LDL. And then the good protein is the high density protein, which is called HDL. And the HDL is good for your body because it will help remove the LDL and the VLDL, which is the bad protein in your body, and prevent it from giving you a disease. It's been found through research that people who have abdominal obesity, they have very low levels of HDL. Now, if you go to your doctor and you ask them, hi, I want to get a cholesterol panel, they will check VLDL, LDL, HDL, and cholesterol. You will come to find that people who have abdominal obesity, maybe in the later stages, has their HDL less than 40 or somewhere close to 40, which means it's at the lower end. And then they may have high LDLs, VLDLs, high cholesterol, or high triglycerides because it's not being regulated like it should. Okay, so we've gone over the very good proteins and the very bad proteins. Now let's see what it does to your body. Number one, the liver. When there's a lot of fat in the stomach and it's surrounding your liver, what it does is it ends up taking in the fat, processing it, and then shooting it out to the rest of your body through the blood circulation. Not only that, the excess fat in the liver can release adipokines. When there's too much of it, can cause inflammation throughout the body. So you have a lot of inflammatory cells, and then you have a lot of fat molecules going through your body, and then you have your liver being suffocated by fat, which can ultimately end up in liver damage. Number 2, the pancreas. The pancreas is very important to our body because it makes a molecule called insulin. What does insulin do? Insulin helps to eat up all of the sugar in our body, and it helps to regulate sugar. So when you're overweight or fat, it tells your pancreas, make more insulin, make more insulin. We have a lot of sugar throughout the body. I need your pancreas to make more and more insulin. Please give me more. So once the pancreas is worn out and it cannot make any more insulin, you will end up having uncontrolled blood sugar. And what is uncontrolled blood sugar? It is also called diabetes. So there was a study in New Delhi that found that people who had abdominal obesity, at least 50% of these people were diagnosed with diabetes. Number 3, the heart. What does obesity do to the heart? It causes more salt and water to stay inside the body. And then this excess fat that is all over your body, it is sending out cells that is causing inflammation throughout your body, which eventually reaches your heart and causes your heart to work harder than it needs to, which will result in high blood pressure, also known as hypertension. Another study in Pune, India, showed that there is a strong correlation between being obese and having high blood pressure. There is just too much stress on the heart. Number 4, the kidneys. So all of this excess fat, again, is releasing a lot of cells into the body and is causing inflammation all throughout. Now, all of this inflammation, there is a byproduct of inflammation. It releases a lot of toxic substances into the body, and so much toxic substances is made that it overwhelms the kidneys. And what does your kidneys do? It filters the blood in your body. It filters all of the bad chemicals from your blood into the kidneys, and it gets peed out. Over time, the kidneys can be under so much stress, and then eventually you're going to get kidney damage. You know how I mentioned earlier that high fat can cause your pancreas to overwork and then eventually fail to give you diabetes? Well, research has shown that you will actually get kidney damage before you get pancreatic damage. Last but not least, number 5. Now this section is not about the organs. This is about the body altogether. Research has shown that fat cells can make cancer signaling genes more sensitive, which means it's a fuel for cancer. I was watching a provider on YouTube the other day. He actually explained why someone would get cancer more easily. So let's say you're obese and you're already having heart problems because of all of the inflammation in your body, and all of the cholesterol or fat that's circulating in your bloodstream is making a home all throughout your body. So it has to get stuck somewhere because it cannot continue to circulate your body. Eventually all that fat is going to sit somewhere throughout your body, which means your vessels are going to become very narrow. And then eventually those vessels that deliver blood through them and fighting cells that help target areas in your body that have cancer, they can't get to the area that has cancer because they have difficulty. There's a blockage, and that blockage is overwhelmed by more cells that is causing more toxic substances. So your body just becomes overwhelmed with inflammation, they would say. So it's been shown that a lot more fat in the body can cause a rise in estrogen. If you have a rise in estrogen, you're more likely to get breast cancer, ovarian cancer, and endometrial cancer. Again, extra body fat can cause a defect in the pancreas. Now the pancreas again makes insulin to help target the sugar molecules throughout your body, and if insulin is not working from your pancreas, then you end up getting pancreatic defects, and eventually it'll cause pancreatic damage, which may result in cancer. There's tons of cancers that excess fat can do to the body, such as esophageal cancer, liver cancer, pancreatic cancer, gallbladder cancer, colorectal cancer, kidney cancer, breast cancer, ovarian cancer, endometrial cancer, prostate cancer, mouth cancer. All of these cancers you're at risk for. I repeat, you are at risk. All right, so that's the end of my presentation. I hope I made you reconsider your lifestyle if you do have abdominal obesity, and I hope you will share this message with your friends and your family in order to combat this really slow disease, because gaining weight takes time, growing a belly takes time. I would love if you cared about your health before your friends, your family, or your doctor were to tell you that there's something going on right here and that you need to take care of it. Goodbye and take care. Bye. Have you ever wanted to read a scientific journal article that was just too complicated and wordy because you may not have a degree in the sciences, or just wanting to build on the knowledge you already have but need to take baby steps? However, you knew that there was an immense quality of information due to the extensive research that these scientists put into their work of doing research, but found yourself a little puzzled when beginning your deep exploration, asking yourself midway through the article or even at the beginning, like, okay, so what did they mean by that? And having to reread it? Well, today I want to offer a free offer to you. Since my YouTube channel is dedicated to finding science-based research articles with theoretical and hard evidence, I have decided to collect my research, summarize it, and provide it to you so that it's easier for you to understand the language and, if you need to utilize it in your personal studies. or just as a reference for your everyday life. I believe that this offer can benefit you if you're a student or just a very health conscious person, a person who wants to understand the complex science of our research today. So in my graphic design of these research articles, it's full of vibrant colors, and not only words that are confusing, long, lengthy, and very wordy. I break down each section of the article that I use in my research and basically just simplify the terminology for you, as well as give you definitions of new scientific terminology so that you could perhaps incorporate it into your life. I also include takeaway information. You can remember it very, very clearly. And again, to incorporate it into your life, or to even just maybe sound extra smart. So please subscribe and sign up today for my mailing list so that you can get really close and personal with the research that I use for my presentations on YouTube. It may be a good reference for you one day. So sign up now and enjoy the simplified version of the most up-to-date research in your life. So I started on my first article today, and the first article is an article on abdominal obesity. So if you want to learn more about the effects of abdominal obesity, my previous video on the terrible effects of sucralose, it will explain the effects of sucralose on the stomach or abdominal obesity, and it also discusses why abdominal obesity is so harmful to us. And then after the video, you will have the opportunity to review the information, the research scientific information that's so confusing to most of us, that even I had to reread this article about twice to understand all of the dense information. So with my graphic design, you won't have to rewatch my video. You'll have the information all in the graphics. You can take your time with each piece of information and utilize it however you'd want in your life. Perhaps share it with your friends and family. So make good use of it. Thank you for your time. Bye.